As there is but one world, one life, one day.
Thanks for the help you've given. Unfortunately, I have more headaches to deal with.
The Mage's Collective thanks you. Make us smile upon you.
Magic exists to serve man and...
Blessed are the peacekeepers, champions of the just.
Corrupt are they who have taken his gift and turned it against his children.
They shall be named Maleficar, accursed ones. They shall find no rest in this world or beyond.
I was getting to that part.
Dwarven crafts. Fine dwarven crafts. Direct from Orzammar.
Now's better than later.
Your efforts are greatly appreciated.
Dwarven crafts. Fine dwarven crafts. Direct from Orzammar. You won't find better.
I haven't been here in a while. Ask away.
Ah, there you are. I was about to send out a search party. I've been hearing of a great commotion in the alienage. What exactly happened there? Make her forgive me. I should be appalled that such a thing could exist here. But I'm overjoyed you can implicate Loghain. We must end the civil war quickly. What the Blight does not corrupt in this land, politics surely will. The last of our allies have arrived in the city. We cannot delay any longer. I will call for the Landsmeet to convene. Bring Alistair and join me at the palace as soon as you are ready, Warden.
Is it true? Erlina tells me that Arl Eamon has gone ahead to call the Landsmeet. A bit. But I know that together we are more than a match for my father. You should hurry. Father won't waste time wresting the proceedings from Eamon. He will need you. I'll meet you there. Maker, watch over us all.
I hope Eamon doesn't expect me to give a speech. Maker, he probably does, doesn't he?
If one more servant asks if... What comes, my friend?
Excuse me, I have to dust the Earl's sitting room. No, I'm from Redcliffe. Lady Isolde brought me here to be her chambermaid last spring. I've family here, though. I beg your pardon, sir, but I...
You know, I could get to like this. Your wish? If they're dirty ones, certainly.
This is a nice change. Something I can help with? Denerim is Ferelden's most... She is Ferelden's heart. Her...
His lordship has gone ahead to the palace. Please, I beg you, do not leave him alone there any longer.
Yes.
Indeed.
Warden, I am not surprised it has come to this. And Alistair, if you were even remotely worthy of being called Marik's son, you would already be in the Landsmeet, now wouldn't you? You have torn Ferelden apart to oppose the very man who ensured you were born into freedom. But do not think you will get past me to desecrate the Landsmeet itself. The nobles of Ferelden will confirm my lord as regent, and we can finally put this to rest once you are gone. I have had so many doubts of late. Loghain is a great man, but his hatred of Orlais has driven him to madness. He has done terrible things. I know it. But I owe him everything. I cannot betray him. Do not ask me to. I never thought duty would taste so bitter. Stop him, Warden. Stop him from betraying everything he once loved. Please, show mercy. Without Loghain, there would be no Ferelden to defend.
My lords and ladies of the Landsmeet, Tyrn Loghain would have us give up our freedoms, our traditions, out of fear. He placed us on this path, yet we should place our destiny in his hands? Must we sacrifice everything good about our nation to save it?
A fine performance, Aemon. But no one here is taken in by it. You would attempt to put a puppet on the throne, and every soul here knows it. The better question is who will pull the strings. Ah! Here we have the puppeteer. Tell us, Warden, how will the Orlesians take our nation from us? Will they deign to send their troops, or simply issue their commands through this would-be prince? How much Ferelden blood does Orlesian gold buy these days?
There are enough refugees in Mybanor now to make that abundantly clear.
The South has fallen, Loghain. Will you let Darkspawn take the whole country for fear of Orlais?
The Blight is indeed real, Wolf. But do we need Grey Wardens to fight it? They claim that they alone can end the Blight, yet they failed spectacularly against the Darkspawn at Ostagar. And they asked to bring with them 4 legions of Chevaliers. And once we open our borders to the Chevaliers, can we really expect them to simply return from whence they came?
What's this? There is no slavery in Ferelden! Explain yourself!
There is no saving the alienage. Damage from the riots has yet to be repaired. There are bodies still rotting in their homes. It is not a place I would send my worst enemy. There is no chance of holding it if the Blight comes here. Despite what you may think, Warden, I have done my duty. Whatever my regrets may be for the elves, I have done what was needed for the good of Ferelden. I assure you, Warden, if I were going to send someone, it would be my own soldiers. I would not trust to the discretion of an apostate.
Indeed, my brother tells a very different tale. He says you snatched a blood mage from the Chantry's justice. Coincidence?
Do not think the Chantry will overlook this, Tyrn Loghain. Interference in a Templar's sacred duties is an offense against the Maker.
Whatever I have done, I will answer for later. At the moment, however, I wish to know what this warden has done with my daughter. You took my daughter, our queen, by force, killing her guards in the process. What arts have you employed to keep her? Does she even still live?
I believe I can speak for myself. Lords and ladies of Ferelden, hear me. My father is no longer the man you know. This man is not the hero of Riverdane. This man turned his troops aside and refused to protect your king as he fought bravely against the Darkspawn. This man seized Kaelin's throne before his body was cold and locked me away so I could not reveal his treachery. I would have already been killed, if not for this Grey Warden.
So, the Warden's influence has poisoned even your mind, Enora. I wanted to protect you from this. My lords and ladies! Our land has been threatened before! It's been invaded and lost and won times beyond counting. We Fereldans have proven that we will never truly be conquered so long as we are united. We must not let ourselves be divided now. Stand with me, and we shall defeat even the Blight itself!
The Warden. I'm with the Warden. Southreach stands with the Grey Wardens.
Waking Sea stands with the Grey Warden.
Dragon's Peak supports the Warden.
The Western Hills throw their lot in with the Wardens. Make her help us.
I stand by Loghain. We've no hope of victory otherwise.
I stand with the Warden. The Blight is coming. We need the Grey Wardens.
Traitors! Which of you stood against the Orlesian Emperor when his troops flattened your fields and raped your wives? You fought with us once, Eamon. You cared about this land once. Before you got too old and fat and content to even see what you risk. None of you deserve a say in what happens here. None of you have spilled blood for this land the way I have. How dare you judge me? Then, let us end this. I suppose we both knew it would come to this. When we first met at Ostagar, I would never have thought so, but Ostagar seems like it happened in another lifetime to someone else. A man is made by the quality of his enemies. Marek told me that once. I wonder if it's more a compliment to you or me. Enough! Let the Landsmeet declare the terms of the duel.
It shall be fought according to tradition. A test of arms, in single combat until one party yields. And we, who are assembled, will abide by the outcome.
Will you face me yourself, or have you a champion?
Am I the only one who sees the irony in this? Ah well, I do love to work in front of an audience.
Then prepare your champion and let us see an end to this.
Now that is more like it.
This won't take long.
Yes! Yes!
Your wish?
Enchantment? Enchantment!
You and your friends are formidable foe. I'm sure you...
Yes.
Indeed.
My lords and ladies of the Landsmeet, Tyrn Loghain would have us give up our freedoms?
How much Ferelden blood does Orlesian gold buy these days?
There are enough refugees.
And once we open our borders to the Chevaliers, can we really expect them...
What's this?
Despite what you may think, Warden, I have done...
Do not think the Chantry will overlook this, Terran Loghain.
You took my...
I would have already been killed, if not for this Grey Warden.
So...
I stand with the Warden. The Blight is coming.
Traitors! Which... I suppose we... Will you face me yourself, or have you...
Am I the only one who sees the irony in this?
Then prepare your champ.
On it. This won't take long.
Good shot.
On it.
Now we play a little. I still remember my first battle.
Honor! You will fall!
Not so fast.
Killing yourself without warning, you know.
champion has won. I concede.
I didn't just hear you say that. You're going to let him live? After everything he's done? Kill him already!
Wait, there is another option. Batean is a warrior and general of renown. Let him be of use. Let him go through the joining. There are 3 of us in all of Ferelden, and there are compelling reasons to have as many wardens on hand as possible to deal with the Archdemon.
The joining itself is often fatal, is it not? If he survives, you gain a general. If not, you have your revenge. Doesn't that satisfy you?
Absolutely not! Riordan, this man abandoned our brothers and then blamed us for the deed. He hunted us down like animals. He tortured you! How can we simply forget that? Joining the Wardens is an honor, not a punishment. Name him a Warden and you cheapen us all. I will not stand next to him as a brother. I won't! Some things can't be undone or forgiven. This goes way beyond having spotless honor. We aren't talking about a minor hiccup in his past. I didn't want to be king. I still don't. But if that's what it takes to see Loghain get justice, then I'll do it. I'll take the crown.
Listen to this. Can you see how disastrous a king he'd be? Putting his own selfish desires above the needs of his country? You can't seriously support him.
And I thought you weren't going to stab me in the back. Funny how nothing ever turns out like you thought.
Alistair, compose yourself.
Fine, you want Loghain and the Grey Wardens so badly? Then I'll be leaving the Wardens to marry Honora. Yes, I do. You left me no choice. I'm sorry.
This can be discussed later. We are keeping the Landsmeet waiting.
Right.
And now, lords and ladies of Ferelden, there is still a blight to defeat, and armies to gather. And I appoint this man to lead us in both. We will not allow this land be further threatened by the Archdemon. Gather your forces, and await the Warden's command. On the morrow, we shall begin our struggle against the greatest threat Ferelden has ever faced. And we shall triumph over it, for we are Ferelden.
You are called upon to submit yourself to the Taint for the greater good. From this moment forth, you are a Grey Warden.
I understand.
So it's done. My father lives, and for good or ill, he is now a Grey Warden. Thank you for giving him the opportunity to undergo the ritual. It couldn't have been easy. He does indeed. And my future husband is upstairs, no doubt glaring out of the window and pouting. He is so much like Cailan, it's disturbing. The Darkspawn run rampant over half of Ferelden. We are all about to have a very bad day. Arl Eamon has left for Redcliffe, and tells me that our armies have almost fully gathered there. I will be heading there myself. Bring your companions, and join us at Redcliffe Castle as soon as you are able. You have united Ferelden, Warden. Now we face the Blight.
Right here, old pal. What about? All right. Aye, all right then.
Oh, there you are. Come to offer congratulations, I suppose? Maybe you intend to throw me a party to celebrate my engagement. I get that you think so. Loghain let all the Grey Wardens die. Let his king die. All because he thought he alone could defend Ferelden against the dreaded Orlesians. No matter what your plans are, he deserved to die. He deserved justice, and you made him one of us! It would have meant Duncan could rest easier. Me too. But why should I complain, right? I'm the king now, and with a beautiful fiancée who is going to remind me of her father every time I look at her. I'll make the best of it, I guess. I'm not going to roll over and let Honora rule, that's for sure. Well, good luck, I suppose. You have a lot to do now. And so do I.
If one more what comes, my friend?
Let's not spend more time here than we must. Yes.
The light.
Yes.
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 I passed your test. Fate has a twisted sense of humor, it seems. I suppose you think I'm some sort of monster. More so since I survived your ritual. You keep striking at me, and I just refuse to die decently. Oh? What was all that nonsense with the Darkspawn blood and mages then? A puppet show? It seems to me that magic has already failed. I'd recommend a sharp knife in the kidneys next time. Less impressive, but it gets the job done. Why should I? I'm a strategist by trade, after all. Should a fine plan be abandoned simply because it ends in my own demise? That seems like such a waste of a good idea. Is that punishment meant for me or for you? And just like that, we're allies. I can't imagine it's so simple. I don't know what concession you want from me, Warden. I expect my word will not satisfy you. Indeed, I'd almost forgotten that. Thank you for the reminder. I think it's time we got to the point here. What do you want from me? I can't imagine that you spared my life in the Landsmeet by accident. You have some plan in mind. Mercy is a strange creature. They say the sword that struck Andraste was mercy. Your mercy is to leave me in the fire. I'm no Chantry scholar. I don't know which is the cruel fate and which is the kind one. Despite what we each wanted, we're both here now facing the same enemy, and we can be of use to one another, however little we may enjoy that fact. I am a soldier, you know, and it has come to my attention that you've been looking to build some armies. Well, we'll see how far that gets you. We should speak no more of this at present. Time's wasting. Did you want something? Anora always did have a flair for the dramatic. She could have been a bard. Anora is a politician at heart. There's one thing she knows. It's how to move people. Well, I'm sure having you come to her rescue gave Anora no small amount of pleasure. But enough about Anora. We ought to get moving. Very well, then. I suppose that depends on how much of the kingdom was left by then. Once the border was secure, the army would have regrouped to push back the Darkspawn in the south. We couldn't, especially after Ostagar. It wasn't an ideal plan, but it seemed necessary at the time. In any case, there's no use discussing this. We have much work left to do. Very well, then. Hate doesn't describe it. I've seen painted, masked lords beat an old farmer to death with riding crops. To this day, I don't know why. Is that hate? I saw good, sensible men fight armored chevaliers with nothing. No weapons, no armies, not even hope of success to see the occupation end. Is that hate? Nothing about war is right. It's a force of nature, like rain, or wind, or faith. It simply exists. And we deal with its consequences. My reasons weren't wrong. I wanted to defend my home. I made tactical errors, however. In any case, there's no use discussing this. We have much work left to do. Very well, then. He was my friend. If he'd wanted to conquer the Fade, I would have led the charge. He nearly did. Merrick was never one to avoid his duty, and given his preference, he would have acknowledged his son no matter the circumstance. But he had more than his honor to think of. It would have ruined Rowan, after all. She'd be reduced to a concubine in the eyes of our neighbors, and put Kaelin's status as heir in question. So Merrick made the hard choice. Eamon offered to raise the boy, and that was that. What do you think would have become of Alistair if Merrick had claimed him? He would have been the bastard prince and a continual reminder to Rowan of Merrick's infidelity. At least with Eamon, Alistair had a childhood. But we've been idle long enough. We should get moving. There are men who inspire such devotion that everyone around would lay down their lives for him. And there are men who would come and go from this world, and no one notes it. What makes them so? Your guess is as good as mine. Merrick was remarkable. That's all I can say of him. I was hunting, well, poaching, to be entirely honest, when a boy my own age came stumbling out of the woods. He was so dirty, you'd have thought he'd been dug up out of the ground. Every Ferelden was a poacher or a thief, as far as the Orlesians were concerned. He was bloody, exhausted, and obviously being hunted. I offered to take him to my father's camp. Yes. I didn't find out who he was for a while, though. But I've rattled on for too long already. We should get moving. Very well, then. So far as anyone could tell, she was the undisputed monarch of the whole world. She'd fall, skin her knees, and command them to stop stinging. It may have worked, too. She bleeds just like anyone. Or are you surprised that my daughter ever fell down? If you're expecting some particular insight into my daughter's character, I'm afraid I'm probably not the best source. I'm hardly impartial. I think you already know the answer to that. But this is not really the time or place to discuss my daughter. We have work to do. Of course.
Ah, fancy me. I heard rumours that Redcliffe was once again open for business, but my word, isn't this amazing? Such bustle. The Earl has kindly offered my son and I lodgings in exchange for supplies. I'm happy to help him. And you too, of course. If you have need of my wares, you have but to ask. I'm sure you'll be pleased with the goods my boy and I have collected, and with your discount.
Did you want something? Of course. I'm surprised. Thank you. Did you want something? Of course. I'm surprised. Thank you. Did you want something? Of course. Thank you. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised at your success. You beat me. Perhaps you can do this after all. Nothing. Don't mind me. Do you want something? I suppose I have a moment. Honora is a good queen. She has been for 5 years now. I am a bit, but she'll do well. I have to say that anyway, for if word gets back to her that I said otherwise, she'll be furious. In all seriousness, Honora is formidable. You should know that by now. I'm not a seer. If I could predict the future, I wouldn't be here now. Honora is strong enough to endure. She may make a few mistakes along the way, but she'll survive them. But this isn't the time to discuss such things. By all means. Eamon is a shrewd man. He'll be advising the boy. They'll do all right, I suppose. I was trying to be polite. Your friend may get good advice from Eamon, but he's weak. All the bands know it. You can see them. A pack of wild dogs waiting for a bone. The first chance they get, they'll pry concessions out of him. They'll pick at the throne until it's only a gilded chair with no power or authority at all. Because Eamon, for all his merits, is a conservative man. He believes in tradition and inheritance, and would never see the daughter of a freeholder, however gifted, in power. I was a Terran. But my father was a farmer, as was his father and all the generations of McTeers that history remembers. And Celia, my wife, was a cabinet maker's daughter. Hardly a royal pedigree. This discussion profits no one. I may be wrong. I will certainly hope so. By all means. Of course.